Howdy, my name is TXCD and I'm coming to you from the back of a Cadillac. This is actually my Cadillac. I bought this with my own money for $1,300 and it's pretty freaking nice. It's pretty, what can I say? I'm a baller. Unfortunately, I only record videos when the house is vacant, and for whatever reason for the past 3 weeks, somebody's always been home. And it's really annoying to record videos when people are always home, so I can't. So finally today I said, enough is enough. I'm recording in the back of my Cadillac. If you're wondering where I'm parked, I am actually parked in a church parking lot, which is very interesting to me. Just as I pulled in, 2 more cars pulled in as well behind me, and they're currently over there, and it's making me very nervous. Ignoring the fact that I'm in the back of a 1992 Cadillac DeVille, let's start with My Little Pony. As you may or may not know, My Little Pony is a very unique cartoon show, as in, it never really ends. I mean, sure, certain phases of MLP might be over, generally, like, for instance, Magic, Make Your Mark, My Little Pony Tales. They might end, but the brand as a whole never goes anywhere. This is because Hasbro, the company who owns My Little Pony, just loves to reboot shit over and over and over again, and will not let their favorite franchises die. And despite how it might look in 2025, My Little Pony is still a very big franchise. Can I move this down any further? I can! I'm currently using a hood lift to, push the seat back because the springs in the seat are broken. Okay, it's better. So when a TV show of their franchise is over, Hasbro will simply wait a year or 2 and then make a new show. They've done that for every single generation. My Little Pony as a whole has been rebooted about 5 times. 6 or 7 if you include like mid-generations like G1.5 or G3.5. And with reboots, I mean, you typically see the same characters in a new setting, right? That's how most reboots work. Like, for instance, I don't fucking know, the Red Power Ranger. Those Power Rangers always come back for every single reboot. But with My Little Pony, it is slightly different. Not much different, not very different, but it is slightly different. You do see rebooted characters from old generations, but not in the way you might think. It's not a direct reboot of the previous generation. It's more like the next generation is inspired by the previous generation, right? Minus G5, because G5 is just its own separate thing. But like G4, for instance, Magic is kind of a reboot of G3. And now, I know I'm gonna get a lot of people angry when I say that, but fucking fight me, okay? So although some characters continue in the next generation, others don't. Whatever, I'm sick of rambling. Basically, I'm gonna go over the G4 characters that were previously G3 or G2 or G1 characters. And like I said, fucking G5 is its own thing. It doesn't count. By the way, this Cadillac DeVille has air suspension, which is really cool. At least I'm pretty sure. The reason why I say that is because whenever you get into the Cadillac, the air compressor starts. But now that I'm in the Cadillac and the Cadillac's not on, I'm very scared that it's gonna run itself out of battery by the time I'm done recording, but we'll see. Let's start first with the main 6. That's right, Twilight Sparkle. Twilight shows up in almost every single generation. The reason why I say almost is because G2, it's kind of an enigma. It's less of a generation and more like a weird fumble half step. But some ponies do show up in G2, so it's worth at least kind of counting. I'm not going to put much credit into that, though. Twilight's first appearance was in G1. She was simply called Twilight. Apparently in G4, she was also supposed to just be called Twilight, but due to apparently copyright reasons between Hasbro and, of all things, fucking Twilight, like the series. So for copyright reasons, they had to change her name to Twilight Sparkle, which is okay. Anyway. And if you notice, this design might look a little bit familiar because this is very similar to Twilight Velvet's design from G4, aka Twilight Sparkle's mom. So Twilight Sparkle and Twilight Velvet were both based off of Twilight. It's just that Twilight Velvet looked a lot more like Twilight than Twilight Sparkle did. Holy shit. Twilight also makes an appearance in G1.5, or My Little Pony Tales and Friends. Wait, although to be fair, the Pegasus Twilight might not actually be Twilight, just a character that shares her name, but frickin', anyway. Alright, this air compressor is kind of pissing me off. I'm gonna try to turn it off. I was just making sure the car wasn't running out of battery. I think it'll be fine for the recording. As far as I can tell, Twilight doesn't make an appearance in G2, although there is a G2 character called Twinkle Star, which is kind of familiar-ish. But Twilight's next major appearance is in G3 as Twilight Twinkle. Her design is slightly shifted and she was turned into an Earth Pony, which is kind of interesting because Twilight in G5 was originally envisioned as an Earth Pony when they were still doing it as a G4 reboot, but that's a story for another day. Actually, I think Tabby MLP, if I get his name right, Tabby MLP made a video on the G5 that we never got. If you want to go learn more about the fact that Twilight was originally an Earth pony in G5, go watch that video. Very good video. I think people generally agree that this G3 Twilight is the Twilight of the generation, but it is also important to note that there is also another pony known as Twilight Pink, which is a really weird name. But as far as I can tell, Twilight Pink is just a pony who shares Twilight's name, and I think only ever showed up in merchandise. So Twilight Twinkle was the main Twilight of the generation, although it was just like some background character. I don't watch G3, man. I just like gloss over the wiki and I call myself an expert. So, you know, maybe watching all of G3 is a video for another day. Honestly, maybe. That'd be kind of hype. But all this time, G1 Twilight, G3 Twilight, none of these Twilights were main characters. G1 Twilight only showed up very temporarily in the special known as Rescue at Midnight Castle, and really never again. But Lauren Faust apparently loved making stories with her toys. So although G1 Twilight was never a main character, to Lauren Faust in her own imaginary world, she was. Which I think it's really fun to think that just G4 is just Lauren Faust's imagination going fucking wild when she was like 6 years old. That's really fun. Also, as a side fact, apparently Twilight's a mom in G1, which is fucking wild. Weirdly enough, however, Hasbro didn't own the character rights to any G1 characters, which might also be a reason why they couldn't call Twilight Sparkle just Twilight. For whatever reason, the only characters that Hasbro had copyrights to was Applejack and Spike, which is two just really strange characters. But when Lauren Faust made her original G4 designs for the main 6, they were using G1 characters, and every single character had to be changed to be less G1-like, which I'll get to. First, starting with Twilight, Proto-Twilight. And you can see she much more closely resembles her G1 counterpart and her mom, but was later changed to more closely reflect her G3 counterpart, and then changed again to the Twilight we know today, and then given wings, and then given bacon hair. That goddamn bacon hair. If that was long-winded, don't worry, I'm getting O2 poisoning in this fucking boxcar. The other characters don't nearly have as long as a story as Twilight, so I'll try to shorten them down from here on out. And next up is the other unicorn, Rarity, who was actually two different characters combined into one character. Both G1 ponies, and both are named Glory and Sparkler. Sparkler kind of sounds like a nickname for Twilight. Hey, Sparkler! Like, I think Glory much more overall resembles Rarity in design, with a white coat and purple mane, which is pretty close to Rarity. But Sparkler has Rarity's cutie mark, or at least pretty freaking close to Rarity's cutie mark. But I think Glory and Sparkler only showed up once, and that was for, once again, the special Rescue at Midnight Castle. Rarity, however, has a much more prominent role in G3, literally having a character named Rarity. And fun fact, G3 Rarity is actually voiced by Kathy Westluck. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she later went on to voice Spike in G4. Proto-Rarity suffered much the same fate as Proto-Twilight. Her design was changed to more closely resemble her G3 counterpart, and her name was changed to Rarity. At least, I think her name was changed to Rarity. I'm not sure if she actually had a name other than Rarity. But anyway, she was unfortunately changed to the middle-aged mare we all know and love today. But honestly, in my opinion, her final G4 design much more closely resembles G1's Glory than before. So copyright works in mysterious ways, I guess. Next up is none other than Rainbow Dash, and this one's actually kind of an interesting story with their proto design. This might sound a little bit weird, but Rainbow Dash wasn't based off of Rainbow Dash. As a matter of fact, Rainbow Dash was based off of G1's Firefly, which is one of the more popular G1 characters. Now, I know their names are nothing alike, much less their designs, but hold out for me for a second. Rainbow Dash's personality was based on Firefly. And fun fact, Firefly is actually one of the only characters on this list to also appear in G2. Although she might just share a name too, but G2 Firefly looks nothing like them, and is also a prince, and a dude, and French. In G3, the name Rainbow Dash and design Rainbow Dash was born. But trust me, man, this Rainbow Dash is nothing like our Rainbow Dash. The G3 Rainbow Dash is actually significantly closer in personality to Rarity, of all people. I'm being called by my mom right now on my recording phone. Hold on, I think I need to stop the recording for a second. Okay, I'm back. That was my mom. She wanted to know why I was hanging out in the middle of a fucking church parking lot. Honestly, fair question. Why am I? Back to the story. G3 Rainbow Dash loves dress-up, girly things, frilly things, everything that G4 Rainbow Dash hates. So it kind of begs the question, why does G4 Rainbow Dash share no personality similarities at all with G3 Rainbow Dash? Well, when it came time for Lauren to design G4, we all know the story by now, she chose G1 characters. She began making characters based off of G1 ponies. And Proto Dash, as seen by this art, was originally Firefly. But like I said, they weren't allowed to use G1 characters, so although Firefly, Proto Dash was designed with Firefly's personality, and stories were being written with Firefly's personality in it, Lauren Faust had to quickly change the designs of all the characters, including Firefly, who was then given the appearance and name of Rainbow Dash, despite not having any personality of Rainbow Dash. So that's why G4 and G3 Rainbow Dash are so vastly different. I think G4 Dash would be disgusted at G3 Dash, and maybe vice versa too, honestly. Congratulations, we are now officially at the halfway point, and we're moving on to our second Pegasus, Fluttershy. Fluttershy. Fluttershy is actually one of the most recognizable designs, because unlike other characters, her G1 design is not very different at all. Fluttershy was based off of the character Posy from G1, and Posy went on to show up in G5. So it's kind of funny to me that the character that inspired Fluttershy went on to show up after Fluttershy. That's kind of weird to me, and funny. Posy was an Earth Pony, and Fluttershy was designed as an Earth Pony as well. Proto Fluttershy looks almost completely identical to not only her final design, but also Posy design. Really, the only big difference is the fact that G4 Fluttershy was given wings. Like, that's it. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure how copyright works, because in my mind, just giving Posy wings and calling her Fluttershy, is that enough to circumvent copyright? I really don't think it is. Maybe there's some other forces going on at play that was why they couldn't use G1 characters. I don't know. All I do know is that it's getting really fucking hot in this car. Okay, now we're on to the Earth Ponies, and this is the home stretch. A really quick one is Applejack, who is based off of Applejack. So why didn't Applejack get her design changed if she was based off a G1 pony? Why could she keep her G1 design? Well, like I said earlier, for whatever reason, all of G1 was copyrighted under a single umbrella except for Applejack and Spike. Why specifically Applejack and Spike? I really don't know. My only guess is that Applejack was actually the design of Generation 0 of My Little Pony, aka My Pretty Pony. This toy was actually Applejack, and so Applejack was copyrighted before G1 existed. Maybe Spike was designed different, like by somebody outside of Hasbro. I really have no fucking clue. Don't take that as gospel. I have no idea. And lastly, dear Lord, lastly, the final pony of this video is none other than the little pink blur known as Pinkie Pie. Much like Rainbow Dash, her G1 design isn't Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie. She was designed off of the G1 Pegasus known as Surprise. As you can see, for Proto Pinkie, she was just a drop-dead replacement for Surprise. Literally just a G4 version of Surprise. And if you move your eyes kindly over, you might notice that Proto Pinkie has wings. That means that Fluttershy and Pinkie would have been switched around. Pinkie Pie would have been the Pegasus, and Fluttershy would have been the Earth Pony. I think Lauren Faust has since commented on the fact that Proto Pinkie had wings, and expressed her sadness that FIM didn't go in that direction, and instead switched them around and gave Pinkie Earth Pony and gave Fluttershy wings. Which honestly, I mean, yeah, it would have been pretty cool if Pinkie Pie had wings, and it kind of did fit her excitable personality, and it would have made her fourth wall breaking teleportation moves make more sense, right? Because logically, how would Pinkie Pie get from A to B really fast? I mean, as an Earth Pony, it's crazy, but as a Pegasus, I mean, she just kind of flew, right? But at the same time, I think that Fluttershy being a Pegasus and Pinkie Pie being Earth Pony makes for more compelling characters. Fluttershy grew to loving animals, which is weird for a Pegasus, right? They're the sky people, not the ground people. And Pinkie being an Earth Pony makes those fourth wall breaks just more crazy. If Fluttershy was an Earth Pony, her story would have been just, she's a bog standard regular Earth Pony with no defining characteristics at all. And if Pinkie was a Pegasus, I mean, like I just said, for every time Pinkie zips across the screen and suddenly teleports behind a character, weirdly, fourth wall break, I mean, with her being a Pegasus, could just be like, oh, she just flew out of their vision and reappeared, right? I mean, who cares? So, although Mrs. Faust wishes that Fluttershy would have kept no wings and Pinkie would have kept the wings, honestly, I think it came out for the better that it didn't. Oh god, another car just pulled in. Please don't come over here. Please. I'm almost done recording the video, man. He's looking. He's fucking looking at me. I'm looking right back at him. He's staring right at me. Fucking, like, I have like one page left. I'm gonna get back to the video and pretend they're not gonna come over here. Fun fact, Surprise actually did end up showing up in G4 as a Wonderbolt, Surprise the Wonderbolt, which is kind of funny. And of course, kinda obviously, Pinkie Pie got her name and design from Pinkie Pie from G3. Like, I don't think that's kind of a no-brainer. I kind of feel like I skipped over G3 Pinkie Pie with that story. Yeah, G3 Pinkie Pie is also very personality similar to G4 Pinkie Pie. I don't know, there's not much to say there. Although there really wasn't a main character in G1. Well, I guess Megan Williams is the main character, but although there really wasn't a main pony character in G1, there absolutely were main characters in G3. They were called the Core 7, which is interesting. Not the main 6 like G4, not the main 5 like G5, but the Core 7. Now, without actually watching G3, my best synopsis of the Core 7 is the Core 7 were just characters that show up more often in G3 than not. Like, there are other characters that show up a lot in G3, like Minty. Minty's one of the most popular characters, but she was not part of the Core 7. So the Core 7... Oh, they got out of their car. Oh, they have their dog. Please don't come over here. Stay away from me, lady. So the Core 7 goes as follows, and, you know, stop me if you've heard these names before. We got Pinkie Pie, obviously, but also Rainbow Dash, obviously. And then Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, freaking out of nowhere, out of left field, Cheerly. And then two other characters named Star Song and Tula Rula, which is such a G3 name. It's very interesting to me that that is the group of ponies chosen for G3, and how many of them made their way to G4. And, like, most of those characters turn into side characters, like Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, and Cheerly are all side characters. That's really interesting. Don't come this way. I do want to focus on Scootaloo and Cheerly, however, because in G3, they're sisters. Now, I'm going to sound like an absolute conspiracy theorist here when I say this, but just bear with me till I'm done talking, okay? I swear to God, I know I'm in the parking lot of church right now, but I swear to God that I once heard in G4 that it was supposed to be the same way, that Cheerly and Scootaloo were both sisters, but for whatever reason, they scrapped it and never gave Scootaloo a proper adult figure or sister until season 9, when her aunts and her parents were introduced, which is like, whatever, dude. I think the reason why they scrapped Scootaloo and Cheerly's relationship is because it was just kind of too awkward to have Scootaloo kind of being part of the main cast, but not be related to any of the main cast in any way. Which, it's still awkward in FIM, by the way. And I would like to imagine... Oh my God, the van's coming over here. Please don't. He's staring right at me. What in the hell? Oh my God, I have a person here. Well, howdy. No, I'm just recording a school project, a college project. I'm recording a college project. I just needed somewhere to record for a minute. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll be a couple more minutes and I'll be out of here. Thank you. God damn it. His Dodge sounded fucking 10 times worse than my Cadillac from 92. It was clicking and thunking and doing weird sounds. Oh my God, I gotta get out of here. Anyway, so I also think that maybe the reason why Scootaloo isn't related to any of the main cast is because initially she already had a sister, which was Cheerly. And when they broke that bond, they never really filled it back in until Rainbow Dash became her surrogate sister, kind of. I say the reason why I say I sound like a conspiracy theorist is because I swear to God, I cannot find where I heard this from. I don't know if I heard it from an interview. I don't know if I heard it from some news article. I don't know what in the fuck. I don't know. It might have given me in a dream and I'm just imagining all this. I swear to God. But I cannot find the source for these claims. So don't take this as a fact. I swear to God. Don't go around and start going, well, Scootaloo and Cheerly were originally supposed to have a relationship in G4. Don't say that. I don't know the source for these claims. So obviously Cheerly was in G3, Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle. And just because I'm going to get absolutely hung for my crimes if I don't mention Minty again. Minty was a hugely popular G3 character. I think she was originally a G1 toy, but in G4 she was downgraded to an Applejack recolor and never shown again. But then she came back in G5 as like a pop star, which is really interesting. But for the sakes of entertainment, I think that's about all for this video. There are a lot more G3 and G1 characters in G4, but those are, in my opinion, the main ones. Oh, and Spike. Spike was also in G1 and G3. I probably should have mentioned him a little more. But hey, look, here comes fan art. See, there's fan art over there while I talk. I know I have memberships open for YouTube. If you want to subscribe to YouTube memberships, I'd really much appreciate that. You won't get any perks, but you'll fund this Cadillac. I've spent so much money in this Cadillac. I'm not in debt yet, but oh my God, I might as well be. So $5 a month, it just sends a little kickback to me. You get no perks, no bonuses. Fun fact, last month was actually my worst performing month ever. Like, even since when I first turned on monetization, that first month was better performing than last month, which is crazy, so please subscribe, man. I really need the money. I know I sound freaking crazy, but I'm doing DoorDash to survive, man. Anyways, that's it. Remember, kids, always intolerance. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. So, goodbye, I guess.
I bite at the hand that feeds me, slap at the face that eats me. Some kind of animal cannibal made impressions on me.